Welcome to AgweekTV. I'm Michelle Rook. With COVID canceling most of the farm shows and field days this season, AgWeek is hosting a crop tour series. For the next 2 weeks, we'll focus on cereal crops and then return in August with our row crop tour. I kicked off in South Dakota at the SDSU Research Farm near Volga. Winter wheat harvest is underway and early yield results are promising.
In the past 10 days, West River, they've started harvest and some phenomenal yields have come in. Reports from our seed growers and anywhere from mid-80s to up into 100 bushel is what we're expecting in some areas. We started harvesting this week here in the Brookings area and we're in the mid-70s, which is actually a pretty good for our crop as wet as we were, and then we got hot and dry too.
Also talk about protein levels and quality and how that is looking.
Well, I think for the most part the protein levels are obviously with the high yield are going to be down. As far as test weights, we've heard really good reports. We just had phenomenal conditions here just to get the crop done and get it harvested.
John Kleinjohn is also joining us right now. And John, I want to talk a little bit about the spring wheat crop and how that is looking, because we've seen some pretty high crop ratings throughout the spring here.
Well, in contrast to the winter wheat, I'm afraid that spring wheat might only be about average. We just had too much heat. I wouldn't say everywhere in the state, maybe Highway 212 south, just to kind of put a geographic area on it. Spring wheat really doesn't like it if it gets above 75 degrees, and we've had a pretty good run here of 80 to 85 to 90 degree temperatures. So I would say overall the spring wheat crop is probably going to be about average with pretty good protein. A caveat, you get up to the north central part of the state, I know some growers up there who think they're going to have their best spring wheat crop ever. So they just didn't get quite as much heat, and the timing of the heat that they did get was okay. So
John, when we talk about average yields in South Dakota, what are we looking at for spring wheat?
Oh, I'd say maybe around 50 to 60 bushel, probably closer to 50. But it's really hard to put a number on it at this point.
And quality with this crop, how does that look?
If the yields are down, I'd say the protein levels are going to be pretty good. 14 to 15, maybe touching 16 on some of it.
John, thanks so much to you and Jack for joining us here as we are on the South Dakota leg of the AgWeek Cereal Crops Tour.